Morning, everyone. It's been a while. We got Matt Mojo Mindset back. It's been, probably over a month, I would think, last time we
Dude,
connected, man.
good morning.
You're
Yeah,
working hard, you told me, right?
yeah, dude. Gotta keep the main thing, right? Keep
Where were you again, you
my W
said? What did you
job.
do for work?
We had to volunteer for deployment to the Bahamas. It sucks, dude. Join the Coast
Uh,
Guard, man. Join the Coast Guard.
no, yeah. So, yeah. So, Kobe's going to join us too. I know he has his EXP call at this time, which I should be on, but I usually skip it on Fridays. But yeah, I know you're getting your license right now. So how's that coming along?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's good. It's getting all lined up for doing all the online coursework, and it's pretty self-paced, which is nice. So if you're still working that full-time job and you're thinking a real estate license is something that you like to add to your tool bag, so to speak, you can you know work the full-time job, and as you make some time, start knocking out that coursework, and then yeah, take the test. So that's the plan right now. I'm still going through the online course,
All
self-paced. So.
all right. And then how long do you have to get your license? Roughly how much did it cost, or how much is the fees so far that you're paying?
Yeah, so I think the online course. So I used CE Shop, which is a
Yeah.
pretty common coursework.
Yeah, it's
Um,
probably the
I think
easiest.
I think they offer like these deals and specials from time to time. So I think I was actually able to get a military discount. So shout out to all those active duty military people that can take a benefit of getting the discount. So it actually wasn't much. I think it was under $100 for that, and I just got the basic run. Like so, you could probably there's like plans and stuff, depending on what you want to. Um, is it just exam prep? You're just trying to take the test versus like the professional development, some of the extra upgrading your license perks. So the website C Shop has all the information. So you just pick your state, what type of license you're trying to do, and go from there. So yeah, can't complain. It's not too
Yeah,
bad.
cool. Cool. Yeah, I think the CE shop is good. I think that's where a lot of people do it online. I did sign mine was well in person, but it was like a Zoom recordings already. And I think a lot of people started doing that after COVID. They didn't have the in-person thing. So a lot of it was recorded videos. But yeah, a lot of it is at your own pace. So you kind of got to figure out what's your best way you absorb information. I guess some people do want it on in person, but for a lot of people, they're doing it. They have jobs or other things they're working on. So I think the online or at your own pace is a lot more convenient. So you've been doing real estate before studying for your license. Do you think it's a lot of different information? Is it actually helping you on the investing side? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just realizing like the whole scope of terms of very various laws, regulations, ethics, and each state is a little different. And so for me, looking to get my license in Florida, I think that serves as like probably our best spot to not only we've got property both in Florida and Louisiana, but I think Florida is going to be our spot that we kind of hopefully settle down in. But with that said, I think in terms of like what's your purpose for your real estate license. So for me, it doesn't really matter what state you are if you're trying to be like a referral agent. And I think that's something that you probably can speak more on from the EXP side of things. And yeah, so as long as you have your license in any state, right, you're able to connect with agents in your brokerage. And so I think overall, it's just giving you a better understanding of the real estate industry as a whole, as opposed to just maybe looking at analyzing deals and searching the Zillow, Redfin, MLS. And so yeah, I think it just kind of adds more knowledge base to you, and you're able to help out, and add value in the real estate industry as best you can.
It- yeah, I want to say morning to. Can you hear me? It says I'm muted up here. No. Say morning to. We got Cody here. Trade Better 99. Flavio, thanks for always tuning in.
Hey,
Yep.
TB99, what's up, dude?
Yep. Joe V. He says happy Easter, everyone. He's with family right now, so the chat should be kind of calm down since Joe's not going to be there today. But Trey Better asks, what is the hardest part about the training, Matt? Any tricky sections?
And I don't know if it's more tricky, but it's just things that you wouldn't really think about, like all the legal aspects of it. Obviously you're not providing legal advice, but there's certainly, different ethics and morals that you abide by, putting your client first, right? And so I wouldn't say it's not necessarily tricky. It's just stuff that you wouldn't even think about, but apply to once you're, getting your license and getting involved in the real estate industry.
Kobe here.
Kobe, good
What's up,
morning.
man?
What's up, guys? Sorry, I was running a little bit late because I was just wrapping up our mastermind call for our team.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Great. We missed Mark, so it could have been better, but
Well, I have other things I'm working on right now, but no, yeah, it's just like anything, right? Even like the one rental at a time. There's a bunch of accountability calls going on. In the school group, there's different things. So, you try to make as many things as you can. It is difficult. There's so many things, but everywhere you go, you're gonna meet someone. Even like right before this, I was in the school out of state investing call. So they have a call on Friday mornings for out of state investors. Vincent and Lindsay kind of run that. But yeah, so they're it's you got to just find your space, and I think even for your real estate license, right? So like Kobe is with eXp. He brought me in. We're trying to see where Matt's direction is going to be. But yeah, Kobe, you want to talk a little bit about eXp and how you recruited me, or what's eXp's vision, I guess.
yeah, for sure, man. So, I mean, when we met, Mark, it was back actually on I think I had you on my podcast. It was back in 2023, if I remember correctly. And I reached out because at the time I was hosting just starting out. I think it was about a year or so into doing my podcast, and I was looking for other agents and other investors who I could potentially work together with at eXp as well. So that's one of the ways that we start conversations is through podcasting and through interviews. I think it's a very underutilized way to actually go out there and make connections. Even as like an investor, I mean, a lot of you guys have your own podcasts. It's a great way to get, in front of other partners, get in front of people who can bring you deals, vendors, right? People who are like, I'm seeing people interview Pace Morby on different occasions, right? You're getting access to all these bigger names that you probably would have before just because you have a platform. So I talked to Mark, what was it, like May of 2023? And then I think you were the one who actually brought it up to me. You noticed that I was an eXp agent, and you said, I'm looking as an investor-based agent who is, not really doing much on my license at the moment. I think this agent attraction revenue share opportunity at eXp is actually pretty interesting. So we had a little conversation about it. And then we just kind of stayed in touch. So I was, hopping on Mark's lives as a viewer a lot. I was looking at a lot of his videos at the time, and I noticed, I think it was like in early 2024, Mark started doing more live streams, and they were really cool because I see so many people interacting in the comments. So I was hopping on whenever I could, interacting, and then we started talking a little bit more again, probably around May of 2024, and that was when our revenue share model actually got a slight update as well. So I reached back out, and then that was when we started talking maybe a little bit more seriously at the time of, let's figure out what's a good time for you to transition over and start building your revenue share as well. And I think that was the big centered around, like, our conversations was a lot centered around the revenue share aspect of eXp, because as an investor, I think it makes a lot of sense for you. That's what you told me. And also makes a lot of sense for all of the other investor agents that I've seen at eXp as well, because basically what you're able to do is you're now able to open up with your real estate license 3 streams of income instead of just having 1 stream of income traditionally, which would have been through your sales. So as an investor, you have 3 income streams, right? You have active income. You can go out there, you could do wholesaling or flipping, trading your time directly for income. You can purchase rental properties, and then as you purchase them and hold them over time, they appreciate in value. So you have an equity component, right, to that. So that's your second income stream. You're not trading your time directly necessarily for that. And then the third income stream is obviously the residual side of things. So basically that's where you collect rent every month on your rental properties. If you're lending, maybe that's interest. That's kind of what everybody is looking for as well as that passive residual income stream that can give you both your time and your money freedom. So as an eXp agent, you now have the ability to leverage your license for 3 income streams as well. So you have obviously your sales, and then you have stock awards. So this is really unique to the industry. So as you close transactions and refer other agents to join the company as an eXp agent, you actually earn shares of eXp stock. So you're getting assets that can build up in equity over time. And it's just given to you, right? So you're not like investing money in buying stocks. It's just given to you for doing your job as an agent. And then lastly, the revenue share side of things, and we can maybe dig into it a little bit deeper later, but basically that is where you refer other agents to join the company. And when they close transactions, you're getting a piece of that commission split as well, shared from the company side, not from the agent side. So that's where you can actually go out there and accumulate a potentially residual income stream that can add or fuel to your passive income and your financial freedom as well. So for a lot of investor-minded agents, that was really what's really appealing for them, is that you have 3 income streams. There's an equity component, passive income component, not just, hey, let me just get my license and go out there and represent clients on a day-to-day basis, which from what I gather, most investors don't actually want to do. So.
Is that why you're gonna be joining us soon, Matt?
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I think, I mean, yeah, like, Kobe brings up a bunch of good points in terms of like you have options. So maybe that traditional model of what people, assume of a real estate agent is out there showing open houses, collecting client information, doing contracts, all that stuff on a day-to-day basis. Like that might not lend well to those that have a full-time job and they, want real estate to be a part of their business that they're growing, and they know it's going to take 5 to 10 years, so they're willing to maybe kind of plant that seed, get the foundation built up, and continue doing that on the side, while still maintaining that full-time job. So I think the options, and like you said, Kobe, like there's various streams of income, so you can kind of pick and choose whatever fits your lifestyle, what fits your investing profile, and certainly go from there. There's not a one size fits all sort of idea. So I think that's what's really appealing, for at least for like in my experience, like full-time job, still active duty with my wife and I. So like we're still building our personal real estate portfolio, but at the same time, if there's an avenue to take that to the next level, that's certainly a good option to have.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I want to say just morning to Hugo stopping by Stay Winning Podcast, so go check him out. Curtis is here. He says taking practice tests now. Will take real estate test this month. Oh, so you might get your license before Matt.
Dude, let's go,
but
Curtis. Slow and
but
steady wins the race, baby.
Josh is here, and then Michael has a question. He's paired from one of your guys' channels. He says, when trying to be a sole referral agent, is there a specific brokerage you look for? eXp seems like the only option, but are there other things to look at?
Yeah. So I mean, as a referral agent, right? What happens is you can, and there's actually different rules for different states. So look into your state's real estate department, as far as real estate licensing department, as far as like what you can do. Because I know in some states you're actually allowed to potentially gather referrals without having to have a quote unquote active license, right? So just be aware of that. Now, how they do the actual brokerage side of things, I don't know, but I think that's a way to do that as well. But yeah, so as far as eXp being the only option, there's other referral like only brokerages that are out there. There's actually quite a few, I think, just flat fee referral brokerages that you can hang your license with, and then what they do is there's almost like a transactional platform. What basically they're doing is just they're the brokerage, so you need to have a brokerage to pair your license with as far as being able to even collect referrals. I know in most states that's the case, and what they're really doing is just like they're just offering their services as an entity, as a brokerage to actually just run your referrals through, and they charge a flat fee for it. So there's other brokerages out there that you can look for. Now they don't do they don't do a ton of marketing, so like you can't really. It's actually kind of difficult to find some of them. You might have to do a little bit of research. But as far as eXp, we have our own referral division. So basically what that means is we have different divisions within the company. So you have our realty division, which is kind of what most people look at. It's the residential division. And then we have a commercial division specifically for agents interested in brokering and working on commercial real estate as well, with almost like a different value proposition for the agents. And then we have a referral division kind of right there in the middle, where you pay only $50 a month to join. So that way it's a much cheaper, investment up front. And then all you can do is collect referrals. So you can refer clients. And then what happens is they can actually, you can collect the referral on that commission when the agent sells a transaction. Now, the thing that you will look for as far as a specific value proposition for referral agents is how easy it is for you to find referral partners, because it's one thing to have the clients but have really terrible agents or no agents at all in your database to refer your clients to, and two, how easy it is to actually generate the referral agreement as well. Because sometimes if you're working across brokerages, it's like the other brokerage has their own way of doing things, your brokerage might have a way of doing things, and you're just trying to figure out the paperwork for like 2 weeks, right? And that could be really difficult to do. Within eXp, we're independent. We're in all 50 states. We're actually in 27 different countries. So you can find just within the brokerage 85,000 agents to refer your clients to. And the way that the referral agreement is generated internally in eXp is actually very easy. You can do it in about 5 minutes, I would say. Everything is done pretty much automatically. You put in the agent's name, which you can find in our agent directory. You put in the client's information. And then lastly, what you do is when you guys have agreed on the referral amount, you just enter that referral amount either as a percentage of their commission or a dollar amount as well, which is an option. And then after that, pretty much what happens is you get an automated email that you do an e-signature on. The other agent that you're referring the client to gets an automated email, and when they close the deal, you get paid a referral check. That's all really that goes into it. So those would be like the two things I'm looking into. And as far as eXp as well, you as a referral agent, you also do have the opportunity to build out the revenue share side of the business and refer other agents who are not with eXp to join the company and build out your revenue share team of agents as well, which will be an additional income stream on top of the referrals.
Yeah, so we got Josh tuning in. He says he is working with an eXp agent on an out-of-state purchase right now. He said he's great so far. So yeah, I think just like anything, right? For a lot of us probably tuning in here, I think eXp agents a lot of times, you got to look at it where, like how you touched on COVID, there's 3 streams of income, right? So I think eXp agents probably are going to be seeing things a lot different, almost like you're saying, as an investor, there's looking at multiple streams of income, and that's kind of how I'm looking at. I think that's how Matt's kind of vision is. He's using the VA side, his Coast Guard, that type of tie-in. For me, it's like you mentioned, my YouTube channel. So that's also why I'm trying to grow that side, to even promote like eXp, real estate agents in general. But if you're like an eXp agent, then it's like, yeah, we can have you on, promote a listing, promote what you're doing, promote what's in your market. So that's kind of my vision of how I'm going to use or leverage my license and my YouTube channel. Harrison says Kobe makes this sound easy. Yeah.
It takes some work though, you got to
take the test first, man.
I'm preaching that. Dude. No, but what I was gonna say is, like in the current state of let's say kind of the real estate market with interest rates a little bit maybe higher than people are recent to at post-COVID era. But historically kind of like hovering around that historical average, you're seeing transactions really dry up. And so, you're thinking like, wait, why would somebody want to get involved, in the real estate industry now when things are kind of rocky? And so I like to think that as like the contrarian view and say, well, now's the time to really kind of build out that system and get things kind of lined up and ready for when things do ramp up and maybe interest rates come down and inventory increases. You're not kind of behind the ball, so you're positioning yourself for like, hey, I know this is a 2 to 5 year kind of trajectory down the road. And so that's probably something that I would also encourage people if they're interested in the real estate license, but they're like, oh, like the transactions are all-time low and there's thousands of agents that are leaving the industry. Like, why would now be a good time? I think Zuber, with One Rental Time talks about, if there's a time to like, get your real estate license, like, or make those offers, right? Like now is when you're going to start finding those deals. So what do you guys think about that perspective from it?
Yeah. I think that's such a good point, man, because that's what like a lot of the trainers in real estate for agents, that's what they talk about is like the time where all the other agents are leaving the industry. This is where you need to double down because now what's happening is like you're able to capture the market share, right? That would be an agent who is going out there who is potentially capturing your market share, but now they've left the industry. So there's less agents you're competing with, and you can now take the time to set up the systems, build the relationships as well. And that's funny because I think that's what Charlie has done as well. I know we both know Charlie, and he's taken that route as well, building out the systems, and that's what he's always talked about too, as far as real estate being his passion. He was an investor before he was even an agent, and then he got his license. I think it was in 2019. And at that point, what he was doing was just kind of using it to supplement his investment business as well. So he doesn't necessarily treat it as a full-time gig. He was still active duty in the Air Force. And what happens was, he just ended up actually capturing a lot of market share during COVID with his marketing, and he ended up now building a team. I think it was like 5 agents locally that he's collecting referrals from, even though he lives in a different state now because he's still licensed there. So there's different things you can do. You don't necessarily have to be an agent full time. But Charlie now, I mean, he doesn't do anything on like in real estate actively, but he's still making money both from the revenue share side and also his referrals that he's built out from the systems like you were talking about, Matt, in a down market that those clients are still reaching out back to him and his team.
Yeah, I think that goes to Michael's kind of question too. He's saying it seems like eXp is catering to agents as an entry level side hustle to build scale. Have you seen agents that have been not able to perform due to it being a side hustle? And I think, just like anything, any industry, you're gonna have good people, poor people, performing their jobs. So it's not necessary EXP has agents that are less capable. I definitely think it's more of a mindset type of thing, and that's why a lot of people start looking to join EXP because whatever brokers they may be with before, they're like, why am I paying all these higher fees, or why is my splits this way? It's probably I want to keep as much money in my pocket, right? So that's why a lot of people start looking for different brokerages to work with. And on that point, Michael's saying he's looking at buying and leaning on an out-of-state agent. And I think it's my experience, and I see it both, for anything, but I think a lot of EXP agents are probably you're going to get a lot of high performing agents because they've already established themselves in this business. And then they're like, why am I paying so much to be under someone else or this brokerage? Or why do I have a brokerage and have all this liability and all these extra fees that I have to pay, where I can go to EXP, do the same things I'm doing, but actually making more money? So my view of it is there's going to be a lot of EXP agents that are very high performing, and they just don't want to split this extra cost with whatever brokerage they're with before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question, actually. So the way that I guess we've kind of framed it is we're talking more so towards the investor audience, right? There's a lot of investor agents who have gotten their license and decided to hang it with EXP. Now, EXP doesn't necessarily cater towards part-time agents or side hustle agents or even investor agents, but we are investor agent friendly because we're cloud-based and there's a cheap overhead. So there's different income streams as well. It allows somebody with a real estate license to maybe not want to sell real estate full time to be able to associate with EXP and still benefit from it. Now, as far as the actual kind of majority of agents at the company, these are full time agents. So these are agents who are doing anywhere between 10 to even 60 or more deals a year. So in the past, I would say like a couple of years, we've been ranked #1 as far as real estate brokerages around the country for volume and also transaction sides for all of our agents as well. So like Mark was talking about earlier, a lot of top agents around the country, what they're seeing is they don't want to pay, the splits that they're paying at their current brokerage. They don't want to pay the additional fees. And also for a top producing agent, even as an individual, maybe they're doing really well, but they don't necessarily see an exit to their sales business. So they're looking for a different way to potentially exit the business, whether if that's through the stock awards accumulating stock and assets and ownership in the actual brokerage that they're working with over time, or through the revenue sharing model where they're leveraging the relationships and the value that they can add to other agents within the industry as well. So it's a good observation, actually. So eXp is almost like we're catering to both sides of the spectrum, right? So I would always think of eXp as like, is really great for top producing agents and agents who are producing consistently and doing really well. It's really great for agents who are maybe not looking to do a lot with their real estate license as an agent, but want to still earn from the, from their license. Was not great for is kind of like that middle of the road agent, actually. So that's actually a really good observation there.
Yeah, I think for me too, it's kind of like we were touching on earlier. It's a great time to get in now. The market, like a lot of agents are actually leaving because Kobe kind of touched on too. There's those that were doing well and they're looking at an exit strategy on how to build income if they stop doing the transaction side. There's a lot of agents that are leaving because they don't have these multiple streams of income yet, so they have to find something that is paying the bills. So I think for someone who has a steady job or has residual or passive income now, getting your license now would be like a great time to get in and start building that brand or learning the skills now, whether you are going to do more transactions when you retire or whatnot, or want to have like this revenue share or agent acquisition side. So that's kind of why I'm doing it too now, is getting the brand, getting my foot in the door now, so that when things change and when the market does change and everything hopefully is kind of rolling or downhill by that point. Let's see. Josh said the big brick and mortar names aren't as important in today's online life. It's about service and relationships. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like Netflix and Uber, right? They got rid of kind of Blockbuster in a sense, or Uber got rid of taxi drivers for the most part. So it's kind of same thing with eXp or these cloud-based brokerages, right? They're really getting rid of these brick and mortar, and how much is these to lease these units or spaces, right, for a lot of these brokerages. So all of that money being put there it goes back to basically the agent's pockets, right? They're not paying for these brick and mortar locations. Harrison says, Matt, where are you looking to go to in Florida? Are you looking at any markets in that area on a downward trajectory?
Yeah. So in terms of work, the Tampa Clearwater area and the Miami area are both viable options for both myself and my wife's work. So in terms of us continuing staying in the Coast Guard active duty and co-locating, Florida, those two areas really, lend well for both of us. So, I think as we get closer to our time being here in New Orleans, and we're kind of getting that, hey, confirmation that we're going to that area, I think then I would probably look a little bit more seriously in there. But yeah, I mean, we both enjoy staying in Florida, and we already have 2 properties in the Pensacola area down there, and so it kind of just made sense for me at least to get that license in a state where both Jess and I see ourselves maybe in the distant future. So, but kind of to Kobe's point, it really doesn't matter what state you get your license in, as long as you're just kind of familiar with certain rules that are states and state to state and different and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, like, Florida's awesome. So
we got KC tuning in. Morning, man. He said, what's the difference between Real One brokerage versus EXP?
I'm not 100% sure what Real One brokerage is. So I don't know if you could clear that up. I know there's a brokerage called Real. I don't know. Is that what you're referring to?
I would probably
be.
think so. Yeah.
It's like a West Coast based, I think, or heavily West Coast, or I could also be wrong.
Yeah, so Real was, I think, like the first company to come out after eXp that also had a revenue sharing model and was also cloud based as well. So they were like one of the first ever, we call like imitation companies that came out after eXp, and I really I think would commend them for that, because all these other companies are just trying to run their business the exact same way before. And then there's this new company coming out and they say, look at what eXp has done and let's try to do it similarly, or maybe offer something a little bit different, and we can capture the rest of the market share. So I think that's a really good idea. Other brokerages have actually popped up as well. There's some other ones who've came up, I think, in the past couple of years, who also offer different types of revenue sharing models. So I believe the biggest difference between eXp and other cloud-based brokerages is we do have our own operating proprietary technology called eXp World. And this is where, for an actual full-time agent or even as a referral agent, if you need a support with anything, maybe you just can't log into your referral portal, maybe you just needed the broker to check on a specific client that maybe you're referring and you need to talk to a broker maybe in a different state to find you the best agent. We have eXp World, which allows you to basically use like a metaverse office. It's the best way to explain this, and to speak directly to a staff member or an employee of the company within really a couple minutes. So you can access this on your phone, on your browser, on your computer, and it's really easy to use. It's really just like walking into a brick and mortar office, but you're just doing it on your computer, which makes the cost a lot lower as well. Now, I don't want to misspeak here, but from what I understand, Real does not have a referral agent only division, not that I know of. If that is not true, please do not take my word for that. I've not been with Real. I'm not as familiar with Real as maybe other agents are. But from my understanding, they do not have a referral only division, which if you're looking to only become a referral agent or potentially exit, that might be a constraint. Although it's not like a huge deal, right? You're just paying, you just have to obviously maintain your realtor board fees and also pay the monthly fee as well. And eXp does have that. And we also have a commercial division on top of that, which I know is pretty unique to us as well. And currently right now, as far as the opportunity for revenue share, eXp is the only brokerage that is global. So we are in all 50 states in the US, but we are also in 27 different countries as well, which has been, I know may not be relevant for everybody, but for me personally, that has been a big goal of mine, is to expand our organization globally into these new markets with a proven model as well.
Casey says, for me, agents need full-time in order to make it happen. I tried part-time, but it is impossible. Yeah, I think, but that's also why maybe, if you're doing it initially not as your primary source of income, that, and that's kind of where me and Matt are coming from, where we're trying to build it while we have our W-2s, so that when we do exit, hopefully early from our W-2s, then now we have this thing, the ball's rolling with it already, and we don't have to start from zero, basically. So you start it now, start building your brand, and then, and same thing, right? eXp offers multiple ways to leverage your license, right? So, maybe sales is not what you want to do it as, but you can do from the referral side or agent acquisition and things like that. So this gives you multiple avenues, I think. Ike Hobbs, when did I start subscribing to MLMs on my YouTube? Oh yeah. Well, Ike, you'd be back on if your audio would work better. So I'd have you back on, but your audio is terrible.
Hit him with the technical difficulties, man.
Yeah, it's a low blow, Mark.
No, every time he's on, like his audio is like, so I'm glad to have him on. I like having him on, but every time his audio is not working well. Silly question for Kobe, but I like the metaverse thought. Would you think a VR meeting space could help sales with clients? Ooh.
Yeah, so we have, I mean, we don't use, I guess you can access eXp World through a VR headset as well. I don't know a whole lot of people who do that. Me personally, I get a little queasy when I'm in the metaverse as far as a VR headset for maybe longer than 15 minutes at a time. I'm gonna have to take a break from it. But we use like quote unquote the metaverse, but it's a browser, so you can go into exp.world is how you would access it. You can go on it on your phone. You can go on it on your computer. It's like Sims almost, pretty much. But as far as being able to create a meeting space to get help with sales and clients, what we've been able to do at eXp so far is we're using it as an internal resource for our agents. This is our internal offices. So we're meeting with our brokers, we're meeting with staff members. So our tech support department is actually open 24/7 because we have agents in different time zones. We have to service them. So for us, that means if I had a question at like 12 a.m. in the morning, I will still be able to access our tech support department because on the other side of the world in Australia, their day is just getting started. Right. So we are able to do that. Now, as far as being able to actually go out there and, meet with clients, I've heard stories of agents bringing their clients, giving them a guest pass into eXp World just to talk to their broker directly. So it actually makes things a lot easier. So instead of maybe having to schedule a meeting, they can simply hop into the world with their clients and they can talk to their broker who would understand a little bit more about a specific transaction as well. So there's different things we're working on. I mean, as far as virtual reality and different things like that, virtual home tours will be the most important one, I think, because if you're working a lot with out-of-state clients, then virtual home tours and even meeting with your local broker inside of the world could be very beneficial and removes a lot of the logistics that it takes if you are an agent working with an out-of-state buyer or seller.
Yeah, so I could say, that's
Deflect, baby. Deflect.
well, that's what everyone thinks, right? When they probably hear EXP, and I think that's the one. Everyone you hear EXP, everyone always brings up the MLM side of it. But that's to me, that's just how everything kind of is nowadays, and it's not necessarily an MLM, right? Someone else is still doing what they're normally going to do. They're going to do their own sales, so you're just basically trying to help them pay less fees, right? Have put more money in their pockets. And I think the biggest thing I see is like EXP, especially for someone that has a brokerage or looking to start a brokerage or whatnot. You're just taking on less liability, right? You're
Less
not really,
overhead.
yeah. So I could see someone who's had a brokerage for whatever, maybe 20 years already, and they're looking, like you're saying, an exit strategy out of it, right? For them, it would make a lot of sense where they would maybe convert or switch to EXP because now they can keep doing what they're doing, but now they don't have all this responsibility actually under them in a sense, and all these extra fees or stuff that they have to worry about. So I think it's a great exit strategy, but at the same time, it's just like we kind of touched on it on previous ones, like your real estate in general, right? You build, you get one rental property, right? Now you're leveraging that to get the next property, right? And that's kind of the same thing with EXP, right? Whether you're doing transactions, you're leveraging what you're doing to either get new agents, more income streams, but you're just leveraging one thing for the next, right? And Ike says, yeah, that's a better answer. Yeah, well, I would have answered it on a live with you. So let's fix your audio and then we'll get you back on. But I think another thing too, and Ike might, initially when Ike was on, he said he was somewhat of an introvert or whatnot, right? So I think part of that too is just communicating, right? So even getting your license or being on these lives, it's a great way to learn how to talk and communicate with other individuals, and especially people that are in real estate that you want to be working with, right? It just allows you to talk to these different people and have even that's the conversation starter, right? Like, well, I'm with EXP or whatnot. So yeah, I think for a lot of people in this space, EXP could offer a lot of benefits. So anyone looking to get their license, you do have a lot of time to study for the test, like Matt would.
Yep. 31 July,
take your,
baby.
take your time. Definitely don't wait to the end, though. I wouldn't wait exactly to the end. But let's see. Val is here. Big Val. That's my man. He's probably driving.
Oh, I got a question. With Rocket Mortgage acquiring Redfin, is it too soon to see what the impacts would be for either the other brokerage companies? Are you going to see other smaller brokerages maybe be bought up during this time, or is it kind of too early to tell, or is there maybe even not so much impact, but just a new name but the same type of competition in the market?
Yeah, that's interesting. So, I mean, like there's we just don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to restructure the company? Are they going to, I have no idea what they're, are they going to fire all the agents? Because I know, in my understanding, Redfin agents are salaried employees of the company, actually. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, so Redfin agents are on salary, so they're a completely different model, like Zillow, but with agents as employees, essentially. So I have no idea what they're going to do as far as like, maybe are they going to restructure it? Are they going to just keep the same model just as an acquisition? Because there's companies that do that as well. Are they going to try to create some type of synergistic partnership between Redfin and their agents, and maybe they have to use Rocket Mortgage or whatever they want to do there? I have no idea. Now, I have seen companies being bought up, like real estate brokerages in talks. Maybe these are rumors and these are completely untrue. But I've seen Facebook posts about this. I've seen news articles about this. Different brokerages are possibly taking on either outside investors or being bought up or consolidating as a company, right? So the big, I think the big, I don't know if they're called this anymore, but the big conglomerate on the stock exchange, either NYSE or whatever, but it's what's it called? The Realogy is the big, I think, company that owns all the brokerages, like Coldwell Banker and Sotheby's or whatever. They're all consolidated essentially under one ownership. And really, the way that I see this is just for a lot of brick and mortar offices and brick and mortar operations, it's just when the market is down and they go through a couple cycles like this and they don't have such a great, up cycle, it's really difficult for a brick and mortar brokerage to even rebound from that. So, I mean, there was 2008. Obviously, a lot of companies went out of business then. COVID happened, and then although it ended up being a pretty good real estate market for a little bit there, but a lot of brokerages were not able to operate, especially if they're based out of certain states. And, I knew of this one brokerage of 60 agents based in New York that was independent. They just had to shut down. Like, they didn't sell it or anything. That brokerage just dissolved overnight. So it's really difficult if you carry this overhead, you carry all the liability, and especially now last year with the lawsuits going on as well. I'm sure there's a lot of companies that want to avoid a potential lawsuit or are still kind of reeling from the settlement payouts as well. So they're looking for investors to really take on that. That's kind of my best guess. I can't speak for sure 100%, but from what we've seen in the industry, it seems to be the case, because as companies start taking on all this overhead, it's just really difficult to rebound if the market really doesn't pick back up or there's a change.
And what Cody says, do you guys see appraisers being an integral part of real estate sales and refis in the future, or will tech completely remove them? Yeah, I think nothing right away, but I definitely see, tech AI being able to replace appraisers for the most part. I think it's just, just like a lot of things we're headed towards, right? We're just things are gonna start becoming a lot more efficient. So I think there might be different like tiers to it in a sense, where if you want, I think like an appraiser and inspection might become almost like a one service, where the appraisal is going to be more also um, include a thorough inspection report to get a better or true value of the property. Because, or you can pay like a base generic, like a AI type one, which would be just kind of spit it out. I think, just the comps. And I mean, for the most part, I think that's kind of what Cody's question is going towards, right? So like appraisers right now, a lot of times they're just taking these data points. I see this comp, this comp, this comp. I kind of look at the house. It has 3 bedrooms like this one, and it has 3 bedrooms like that one, the square footage, right? So you punch that into like ChatGPT, you could probably come out with a pretty basic or simple appraisal report, right? So I think at some point, efficiency, and that's what it seems like everything, getting rid of waste, wasteful process, more streamlined. So I can definitely see that. But I also see on the flip side where it can also be, you could probably pay for a higher service, and that's what lenders might want, because they're going to want like this more thorough report where it's going to be kind of the inspection and the appraisal kind of included to get you a better value. So it's going to need that you can punch in the numbers from an AI standpoint, but it's going to be someone really breaking down, like it's going to be this to fix maybe, or this and this, and that's going to be your true kind of appraisal that lenders might be using. Um, Question for Kobe from Michael: do you see less brokerage hiring agents then? Do you see less brokerages hiring agents then?
Yeah, so I mean, Redfin is the only one that I know of on a large scale that hires agents on a salary basis. So I think there's not other brokerages that go out there and do this. Most agents are independent contractors, and the brokerage needs agents the way that the brokerage is set up, they need more agents and they need more producing agents to be profitable. And that's one of the, I don't want to get into it now, but like that's why running a brokerage like Mark you were talking about earlier was is such an unprofitable business model because you carry all the liability. You have to be the one that pays all the expenses, and you're the one that is supervising all the agents or paying somebody to do it. And what you have is geographic limitations on where you can bring in agents. So you can only bring agents within a certain area. Usually that's within your state as you're licensed in one state, or really it's within your MLS area because you have to pay for more
Mm,
subscriptions in
yeah.
order to do that. And you're also getting 50% or less of all the commissions that the agents are generating because no agent's going to go for a 40% split in this day and age anymore. So yeah, so no, I don't see brokerages hiring agents anymore on a salary basis unless if they're like commercial, maybe commercial brokerages are more inclined to do so.
Cody asked, "Do you think commercial is different with income approach for the appraisal?" So I think he's about seeing tech or AI slowly getting rid of appraisals, I guess, in a sense. So do you guys have a different view on that from a commercial standpoint? Because it's more income based, right? I mean, you're looking at kind of the value of the property.
Yeah. I'd say that kind of similar to even residential, like these, it would make sense for, these companies to supplement or even adopt using, AI to just make that process more efficient. Maybe they still have, real people that are actually like maybe vetting, and just confirming some of the data that, they're getting pulled or they're getting generated. And, maybe on a one off, like case by case basis, like, hey, like, they're getting conflicting information. Okay, maybe now they can go out and investigate. So it's more like a kind of filtering or sifting through to make, just your overall job a little bit more efficient. And I'm sure that, I can't really speak as an appraiser, but like for those that are like, hey, if I'm wasting like half my day just driving and I could just be in a central location and I could just like pick and choose what projects make the most sense to actually go out and physically visit, I'm sure they'd obviously be all for that, just to make their jobs a lot more efficient.
Uh, Trade Better says, if you could interview any top 101% real estate agent, who would it be? Oh, Kobe, you do a lot of agent. Is there someone in the top 1% that you would like to interview or trying to interview?
Uh, as far as like actual agents, I mean, you could pretty much interview any top producing agent. They're more than happy to share that information on podcasts and stuff. So some of the celebrity agents maybe out there you're thinking of maybe like a Ryan Serhant. That could be a name out there. But one person I would love to interview eventually. I think it's going to be happening sometime like eventually in the future down the line is the founder of eXp, Glenn Sanford. He was a top producing agent back in his day when he was producing. He was actually with Keller Williams in the early 2000s, and he decided to launch eXp in 2009. I would love to maybe pick his brain a little bit because I don't know how he came up with this idea, but he did, and it worked.
Oh, who is the top EXP agent? You know who that is, Kobe?
It changes based on the metric they're using to measure that and
Yeah.
also the year as well. So there was an agent down in Florida last year who is a specialist in listing real estate owned foreclosed properties. He was the top producing agent in terms of volume last year. His first name is John, I believe, and his last name I think is John Scalia. I think is how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I don't know. I only see like the funny Instagram, like the EXP agents. That's the ones that attract. No, not, but their
Dude, that's the
content,
prime
right?
marketing,
Yeah, right.
gets
So
the
that's kind of the ones that I want to connect with and see how they're doing it on that side. And as far as agents, for me, it's more just, hey, if I can help you promote a listing or your brand. I mean, that's kind of more what I'm trying to do from my social media side is get the YouTube channel going to where it makes sense for other agents to promote their stuff or promote themselves on my channel to get their name out there or whatever market they're in, or so. And then I think Matt, his is more going to be from the VA side, right? Like you're tied into the Coast Guard and the military side and helping those people on the referral side. Well, how about one rental at a time, EXP, kind of tier
Little meetup.
setup? Yeah. Oh, you mean you didn't even come to the ORAT one?
Dude, still trying to bring it up, man. I'm always looking forward. I'm looking forward to the next event.
Oh shoots, I didn't save it though, but if anyone can go, Ray, if anyone knows Ray, he has started a YouTube channel. So he finally put that out. He's been on the fence for it for a while, but he's put it out there. So he's
What's
going to
this
start
channel about?
real estate, financial freedom. He's doing he's doing a out of state Airbnb in Michigan, and he has his own. He's an entrepreneur. He has his own business. He does the photography side, the videography. He's always been kind of hesitant to put his stuff out there. He just felt like maybe it wasn't being true or real, right? A lot of people would look at it as, why is this guy putting his content out there? But I think for a lot of us, it's more just, you're trying to share your wins, your losses, and show everyone, not trying to show how glamorous things always are, right? There's struggles and there's a learning curve. And I think that's more what people are trying to resonate with, right? They're trying to, you see like Bigger Pockets, right? They're kind of changing their tune or message a little bit, right? They're not promoting this 200 units with no money down kind of thing anymore, right? It's kind of that one rental at a time model. Flavio, oh yeah, What Pros Do is his channel. That's what Ray's channel is.
Oh, sweet.
I didn't
Check it out.
I didn't save the link yet, or I didn't put it on here. But he might be on this weekend. I'm gonna have John. This Deconstructing Dreams is his YouTube channel. He's in Reno. He'll be back on. Super funny guy, but he hates Crocs, so that's why we go back and forth. But he actually has a great topic. So we're gonna probably try to get on a live with maybe someone else on Saturday. But I don't know if it was something personal that he knows someone that kind of went through it or whatnot. But his topic was kind of how financial advisors maybe, or the financial sector is still kind of promoting the same way to retire, like that's their blueprint and nothing has changed, right? They're pretty much preaching the same thing as they were 40 years ago, right? Put this much aside, you put it in your retirement account or whatnot. You need this much to live off of this, you withdraw this percentage, whatnot. So like I said, I don't know if it was something personal that someone brought up to him, but he was kind of like, yeah, I'm looking at it, and these advisors are pretty much advising the same blueprint that doesn't really work for today. So I found that pretty interesting. So he'll be on.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no one way to do it, right? Like there's so many opportunities out there, and you just got to pick one, stay in your lane and follow the plan, right? And just consistently kind of work towards it. I don't know. I mean, that's
Yeah, no, I think so I was on Tom Wilson's channel, Working Man Investor. He's trying to build up his brand, but he's in the school community. He's definitely a big follower of an educated economist, UE. So he gets a little more technical, talking about bonds and treasuries and whatnot and tariffs. But I think we were talking about it, and I think the biggest thing for me is whatever side you're on right now, whatever side you believe, or for tariffs, against tariffs, all these different things. I think the biggest takeaway for me is that I'm hoping that, like for myself, where COVID opened my eyes to a lot of things. Hopefully, this uncertainty and all this volatility in the markets is making people realize that they have to take their own finances and into account and figure out, I'm not going to just rely on putting it in retirement accounts and whatnot. So I hope that's everyone's biggest takeaway, and hopefully that's kind of even like whether it's getting your real estate license with eXp and trying to find another revenue stream, whether it's buying a laundromat or starting a business, or even like Ray starting his YouTube channel, right? I think everyone is realizing like, hey, you know what? There's a lot of opportunities out there. I'm not going to go down this same path as what it was. So hopefully there's a lot of good that comes from this. I think we've been given a lot of free money over the, in a sense, right? The past 30, 40 years, people have been got comfortable with their situations and got into bad spending habits, whatnot. So hopefully this uncertainty kind of wakes people up, and there's going to be a lot of winners, I think, that come out of this, right? And I think that's kind of what this community is all about. A lot of people tuning in now. It's that time Mikey's waking up in Hawaii also. So Buzz Tune is here. Thanks for the $1.99,
Damn,
man.
dude, get yourself a coffee, dude.
Yeah. Let's see. Jen's here. I saw Jen and Kenny. They were in the out of state investing call this morning. Yeah. My boss and just
Dude,
usually that'd be coming from like one of the paired channels, but we don't have Hyder moderating today. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, what else are you guys working on then? Anything else you guys want to talk about? I mean, so Matt, July 31st, you said, is when that's your final.
No, plan on knocking it out before the summertime. So yeah, we got midway through April, probably May or June.
So we got you right now. Curtis is studying. I know Dylan just got his license.
Yeah, he did.
He's doing commercial though.
Commercial, right?
Yeah, he's in Indiana. And then Jack, we got Jack thinking about it. So yeah, a lot of people. I think it's a good way. Learn about the market a little bit, connect with different people, and see if you can build another revenue stream out there.
For sure.
I don't know. Well, what about you, Matt? I haven't seen any. Oh, I know. Anybody mess with your Tesla?
Me?
Yeah.
No, dude. I've been knock on wood, scot free so far. But yeah, it's wild times out there. And
you put a Toyota emblem on. That's why, right?
Nah, dude. Rocking it. I mean, dude, you think about the priorities of people to do that, and you just like, man, I just feel sorry, feel bad. It's like, you people want to go out and improve their life and take care of what their family's about, safety, security, and then some people are just, you can't help everybody, and that's just a sad reality of life. So yeah, it's a shame that's what's happening, but so Michael, you're gonna have to get Mike on alive. We both went through flight school together. He's a Marine Corps pilot, and he's done the VA loan house hack in Pensacola, and so he's got some good real estate experience, thinking about converting his Corpus Christi, Texas, into an Airbnb. So that could be a good live conversation. But yeah, 2 middle fingers from pink-haired women in North Carolina in the Cybertruck. Yeah, I mean, that's out there. Stay safe, I guess.
And it's probably in Asheville. As much as I love Asheville, yeah, it's probably would have been in Asheville.
Taking the L's this year.
No.
Yeah, you were just up there, Mark, right?
Yeah, like I said, I love it there. They're definitely, not like I said, I don't want to judge everybody. Asheville itself, if you had to say, it would probably be a little more, left leaning or
was it still like pretty? I heard it was not doing great after the storm.
It's just like anything. The media portrays it a certain way. There is definitely a lot of areas that are still recovering. For the most part, a lot of areas in Asheville are kind of back on its feet. There is, some areas that are a little bit, like the River Arts district is obviously close to the river. So, but they were pretty much submerged. So that area is definitely still recovery. So, but it's weird. I mean, it was like you would walk, one area would still be just completely gone in a sense, rebuilding, and like 2 steps over, it's like everything is just normal. Like the water just stopped. Like it's just, it was kind of weird. I mean, and then some people lucked out, I guess. So very fortunate. But even so, her family's more probably west of Asheville, so like 40 minutes away. So in Burnsville, smaller, but same thing. You know, you only hear about Asheville primarily because that's kind of the touristy name and whatnot. But these smaller communities outside are still there's still a lot of bad pockets, and you still there's still the trees down and roads closed, and still trying to get a lot of assistance out there. So it's slow, but Asheville itself, I mean, for the most part, there's a lot of it's back on its feet, but it's kind of those outskirt areas around there that are still trying to recover a little bit. But yeah, yeah, there was protests and stuff when I was up there walking in downtown. Well, not for for other
Protesting the
things.
financial firefighter. Gosh, times are tough out there, man. Times are
No,
tough
no,
out
no.
there.
Well, actually, that was when Sierra and Lauren were there, when we were walking around
Oh yeah,
in
yeah, that's
downtown.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, there were some protests going on in the streets, and so, but
yeah. Hey, you know what? In this country, you're free to do that. Free to do
no,
that. So.
yeah, yeah. As long as you're not messing up someone's vehicle or whatever, right? You can voice your. I don't know how much time you got too, but that's kind of what another thing me and Tom talked about. I saw a great episode on Tom Bilyeu's impact theory episodes, and there goes man, I'll put you in Ike's category, messing with the audio. But no,
Yeah.
but so he had a great point where back maybe 30 years ago or so, 20 years ago, it was okay for people to disagree. You could basically it was fine to disagree, but it was kind of like there was only one set of value in a sense, right? Like but nowadays there's so much information out there. It's you can disagree on a point, but because there's so much information out there, everyone is being fed different information. So it's like people are making their views on a certain information that they're following. So it's kind of like you are disagreeing on a certain thing, but it's because different sides like I don't even know what's true in any more information, right? Whereas 30, 40 years ago, it was kind of like you had this one set of information, and now, even though you disagreed on it, you were still using that same set of information. And that's kind of where the struggle is now. It's great to have all this information because people are learning and forming different views and seeing things differently. But at the same time, I think that's causing a lot of the disagreements online or between people, right? Too much information in a
Too
sense.
much, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. People will, I mean, they'll believe what they want to believe. You know, if that's what you want to prioritize, what you want to spend and devote your energy and your time to, and that's the sword that you want to fall on, I think that's what people are going to do. And yeah, you can only live your life. You can only help them so much. So.
Yeah, I don't know. You probably would, but even Bucky's. I tell you, Bucky's is like my new thing now.
Dude,
So Bucky's is
Bucky's,
amazing.
that's a cult, bro. I mean, it's
Dude,
cool.
okay,
It's
but
cool.
now there's all these articles coming out about people are pushing back against Bucky's expanding into their neighborhoods. I saw this. I just sent it to Val earlier. There's one like in Colorado. They're protesting a Bucky's opening up or moving their franchise out that side, and yeah.
Wow, they're a good paying company, family owned. I'm pretty sure still a private company. And dude, I mean,
Yeah.
everything's bigger in Texas. Like you go to those Buc-ee's in Texas, like over 100 stalls, dude. Like
Well,
massive.
yeah, I
Crowds are
went to the one
full.
in South Carolina. It's amazing. It's like
Yeah,
yeah, and you can go online, you can find all the pricing, and it's like the car wash manager. He makes like 175K a year or something.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
it's yeah, like you're saying, they pay well. But
Isn't that
oh, I
interesting?
saw that. I saw that. Yeah, Bucky's is coming to Virginia, and I think there was pushback against that too. But I saw there was one in Mississippi opening up, Virginia, Colorado they were looking at, I think, and Arkansas. I think those are like places that they're expanding to. But yeah, it's awesome.
I mean,
That might be my
that's how
when
you
I
know we've hit an absolute bottom. You got people protesting Buc-ee's, dude. That's just a beaver, man, with some sweet smoked meats and
yeah.
clean bathrooms and really nice people that are providing jobs for the community. Yeah, let's go ahead and protest that.
Yeah, we're in crazy times, but yeah, I don't know, man. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I mean, next week I got Jeremy Taggart back on, Pittsburgh a rock star agent. We have a lot of people pivoting towards Pittsburgh, so we need, yeah. See, everyone want, well, not everyone, but Flavio says, yeah, I need a Bucky's. Have you been to Bucky's, Flavio? Oh, I don't know about, if I had a,
Dude, now you got Mark in a dilemma.
I'm
He's
gonna
out
have
here
a,
choosing.
see, and see, even Andy says you'll never be the same. It's because the beaver wears a red shirt. Yeah, that could be it. Yeah.
Jeez, God,
Yeah.
poor beef.
So on a different, not
You're
at not
getting
at not at
associated, man.
BuzzTune brought up Crocs. So I've been dealing with plantar fasciitis, and I do not want to admit that it has anything to do with Crocs. But I have a feeling me trying to run in my Crocs is part of the reason. And then my son is starting to, his feet hurts when he wears Crocs at school. So I think because he's running around. So yeah. Jen says, not in my backyard.
You got them puppies in sport
I
mode.
do.
You got them Crocs in
Yeah.
sport mode. Okay, well, man, I don't know what to tell
Yeah.
you, dude.
Yeah. No, Flavio has, yeah. Bucky's is amazing, man. Oh, you see, even Kenny says Bucky's is. See, we're gonna have a Bucky. We're gonna. I should have did a live from Bucky's. Bucky.
Dude, that just post up right
Dude,
outside.
it is. My son was blown away when we walked in. He was just like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, dude, I spent like $250 when I was there, and I didn't even fill up gas.
Dang, we should get
Yeah,
some
I did. I got
merch.
my
We
hat.
get
I
some
got two
merch.
hats. I got like
Road
a
snack.
coffee mug. We bought the beaver nuggets. Yeah.
What are the beaver nuggets? They're just all like almonds, right?
No, so okay, so I guess there's the original one. It's like almost like a caramel, like a candied, not cheese puff, but that kind of, yeah, it is kind of shaped like that. It was, so it's actually, I didn't care. It's kind of sweet, but they have like these other beaver, was it beaver nuggets? But almost like they have like a sea salt caramel one. They have like different flavored ones. So I like those. Those are really good. But the original one, like that original beaver nugget one, was kind of sweet. I mean, it's, you could have a few of it, but to eat, like a handful, yeah, it's kind of sweet. Yeah. So Val says
Yeah,
exit 24.
would.
Yep.
They know it's on the dot. No, we would plan our road trips from yeah, because I was from Pensacola to New Orleans. There's one in Mobile, Alabama. We would literally plan our road trips to get there before 10 to get the brisket tacos. Like, I mean, this place doesn't miss.
Yeah.
It's
So
good.
Val, who's in the chat, we met up in Winston-Salem when I was in North Carolina. But so I went to Augusta to see some friends, and he went down to Jacksonville to visit his daughter. And he messaged me, like, "Hey, you gotta go to South Carolina on your way back and take your son to Bucky." So he sent me a picture of him. He took a picture of Bucky, and he sent it to me. So yeah, when we went back to North Carolina, we went that route. So, but yeah, it was awesome.
Dude, Val helped,
Yeah, so
helped show you the
Val
light,
said
dude.
too. He's a truck driver and he drives into Jersey. And he said going into Jersey, there's this huge sign that says U-turn Bucky's, like whatever 560 miles that way.
Dude, yo, those billboards are funny, dude. Yeah, there's one that's like, it's like you can hold it, ... Bucky's 240 miles left. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they got some funny stuff.
Well, so next
it
year's
right.
over. I might have to just go to a Bucky. Maybe I gotta go to Bucky's and then head to the ORAD event.
Is there a Bucky's in Vegas?
No. I mean, I'm saying like I might just go to the mainland, go check out Bucky's, and then head over.
Okay.
And drive up.
Jen says the way Matt is telling his road trip detour makes you think of the White Castle movie. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
Jen.
funny.
Hopefully Matt and his wife can make it to the event next year in Vegas. Because you were already there, right? I mean, you went like a month before this, right, for another event, right?
Yeah, no, we went to Vegas. My family likes to go out and celebrate New Year's out there. So some West Coast family will meet out in Vegas. So Jess and I were able to take some time off work and go up there. So yeah, we like going out to Vegas.
Didn't you go for like
Gotta make
some
sure we go to
event,
Atlanta.
like a conference or something this past year? Oh,
No, might have
I
been
thought you guys went for
somebody
yeah.
else. But honestly, yeah, conferences in Vegas, It's a good spot.
Even
It's a
Kobe
good spot.
came, man.
I did.
Yeah, Kobe came. Yeah. I promise. Yeah. So Jen runs the front. So
Don't
be
worry.
careful. Yeah, you have to.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
yeah, you
yeah.
got to show ID, your passport, all these type of things.
The real ID. Did you guys hear about that? The real ID.
Yeah, I think I have mine already. I thought I had mine already. Don't you? Because you could have got it. You could get it before, right? I mean, previously. Yes,
I
I
think you
think
could.
mine has it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, yeah. Hopefully, you needed to vote. That's why. All right. Well, we can end
Yeah.
on that. And this was a good one. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your
Yeah, dude.
license. Take the test.
Having me
Hurry
on
up.
as always, bro.
Pass. Um,
I know. Just planting the seeds now.
Hey,
Planting the
before
Yeah.
you
seeds
wrap
now.
up,
yeah.
is anybody excited for WrestleMania this weekend?
Oh. Everyone,
Ooh.
everyone
Dude,
remember
I
Kobe's
honestly
like
can't say
22 years old,
I'm too
so
big with it.
he I forget. Didn't you say you never saw Karate Kid also?
No,
Right.
I've
So
never seen
so
the
he
movie.
never saw Karate Kid, but he's super Cobra Kai. Like he super big. Yeah. So he never saw
Oh.
Karate Kid,
Yeah.
but he's a big follower of the Cobra Kai series. Shoot, I haven't watched wrestling in years, but I ended after all like the NWO stuff. I kind of that was my time. But it was entertaining back then. I don't even know who's the top guys now or top people now.
Yeah, I think you'll be interesting to see what the state of wrestling today.
Yeah.
If you watch it.
Did you guys see the there's a over the top 2 coming out? Do you guys know Matt probably the Sylvester
Huh?
Stallone the arm
Over
wrestling
the
movie?
top?
You guys don't are you
I don't
seriously
know.
that you
Dude,
guys
I
never
don't know,
seen that
bro.
movie? The arm wrestling one? Like he's a truck driver and he's like an arm wrestling champion.
Dude, I might have to add
Oh
that to the list. No, I haven't seen it. But you said they're coming out with a second one, like
yeah.
30 some years after.
So
Dang.
he would drive and he would have like a tricep pulley cable set up in his big rig. So as he's driving, he's like doing tricep extensions. Yeah.
He's training.
But Jen's asking is
That's
Hulk
hilarious.
Hogan's not there. Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake.
All right. Okay. Whoever is still here before we wrap things up, put your favorite wrestler of all time in the chat. And see, Andy says you guys need to get on
Yo.
one. I think he's talking because you guys don't know what Over the Top is. Harrison says, "Yep, underrated movie." See, oh Jen, no, yeah, Jen. See,
Jen's
yeah,
hip.
see.
Jen's hip with it.
If you are there, put your my
Do
all
you?
time.
Yeah.
Mine is Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart, and I would say the Road Warriors are my favorite tag team of all time.
Do you have one, Matt, or are you completely?
Dude, I remember mine was freaking Rey Mysterio, but that was I don't even know if that counts. But
Rey Mysterio still wrestles. His son wrestles.
Yeah. Stone Cold would be
that's
up there for
crazy,
me
dude.
too. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Ultimate
Ultimate Warrior. Oh jeez. Hulk Hogan. And I can hear Andy saying it in Hulk Hogan's voice. Yeah.
Saying it in the voice.
All right. Well, I guess
That's
I'm
good,
surprised
man.
nobody said The Rock. Nobody said who else? Who was popular around? Yeah. Bret the Hitman was my guy.
Big in the 90s.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know who's your guy. Kobe? Who's
Loved
yours
it,
then?
man.
You
It
keep
has
up.
to be the Undertaker is my favorite.
Yeah, Undertaker was good. Yeah. Oh, see, you're kind of old school with that.
Yeah,
I see so much things about Ultimate Warrior now and how he was just not liked, right? Like he was just like this.
we have to do a live. We could do an entire live on.
Hey, yeah, Jen, Macho Man, just wait.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Kobe has that'll be my new thumbnail. Kobe as Macho Man. Andre the Giant. Maybe in Princess Bride, Andre the Giant. They drove.
Oh, that's sick. Dude, I was just in Clearwater.
Ooh,
That's
man.
awesome.
Oh, see, that's how
Dude,
we get
that's
BuzzTune to tune
beautiful
in.
area.
Mankind was good, yeah. What was his name? Nick Foley?
McFoley.
Yeah, Mankind was
Yeah.
yeah. All right, well, I guess that's it.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
No,
Sweet, dude.
all right,
Well,
man.
yeah.
Go
Always a
change your
pleasure,
Tesla
man.
album so your logo so you're safe. And
Dude, I'm not gonna hide. No need to back down, dude. Just rock it, dude.
all
Just
right,
rock it.
everyone, have a great weekend. Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. I don't know what time yet. I gotta message John. Oh, China. No,
Yeah.
just a fear. It would be Jen to put that in there, the last one. All right. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. We got off topic a little bit at the end, but that's kind of what we do. But yeah, everyone have a great weekend. Have a great
Love it.
Easter weekend if I don't chat with you. But
Yeah, happy Easter,
see y'all,
y'all.
folks. Thanks.